Welcome everybody to another show and tell from me. My name is Peter, and today we'll be looking at a watch from the watch brand Stuckx. This watch is part of the watch line called The Rock, and this particular one, the black one, is called the Executor, and it's apparently named after Darth Vader's TIE fighter in Star Wars. Now, many of you might be thinking, well, why is it called The Rock? Well, if I do like this, it might answer your question. There you go. That's why it's called The Rock. And wow. Okay, well, first of all, I'm going to give you some stats. And then we can talk about the watch itself in a minute. Okay. Well, it's titanium grade 2. From lug to lug, it's 52 millimeters, 44.8 diameter at the top, 22 millimeters high from the case back to the sapphire top. It's 1,000 meter water resistant. It's powered by a Swiss ETA or ETA 2824 automatic movement. It has C3 luminova on hands and indexes, a sapphire bezel inset with C3 superluminova, 6 millimeter thick sapphire crystal with AR coating on the inside, 4 millimeter thick screw-in type case back. It has a 120 click unidirectional bezel. Those were the quick stats on it. Right, so let's have a look at it. This is The Rock, and it's it's already discontinued or retired, as they write on the website, which I find a bit of a shame, really, because I've only managed to get my hands on one right now from a good friend of mine, a crazy Italian ninja dude, whom I have a lot of respect for. I've done martial arts myself for many years, and so he's a kindred spirit of sort. And he lent me his, and it's the first time I've seen these. It's not the first time I've seen them. It's the first time that I have had one in my hands. I saw them. I saw prototype pictures, and I remember there thinking, wow, already. They looked. They looked awesome in some sense. I've seen people call them ridiculous, and I'm sorry, I don't get. They don't. It's not ridiculous for me. It's they're just wow. It's well. One thing about this is this is definitely the kind of watch that you use for diving. Now, I might not choose to wear this watch on a cafe. Or at wearing tuxedo at the opera, it might be out of place. But it for me it reeks dive watch, and I think it's probably because back in the day when I started diving, they would actually give you a compass that looked a bit like this. It had the same sort of conical shape, or was it a compass, or was it a depth gauge? I can't quite remember. I think it might have been a compass you had on your hand, and it looked like this. So for me, this is well, I might say it reminds me of retro dive equipment, a hardcore dive equipment, and it is a dive watch. It's 1,000 meter depth rated, and it's being true to its purpose. It's it's saying, hi, I'm a dive tool, and you might not wear me to the opera, but you can certainly wear me on outside your wetsuit, and I won't look ridiculous there. And I think that's true. And it's just very pleasing for me. I'm sure a lot of you guys are saying, well, that's a bit of an overkill. But it's not really. It's well, it might be overkill, But if it is overkill and if it is ridiculous, it's ridiculous in the very cool way. It's that's my opinion, and I really like it. It has its helium escape valve over here somewhere. Where is it? Where did I thought I saw it somewhere? There. That's the helium escape valve there. And and it's something new, and and in the micro brand business, something new is quite rare and far in between. Somebody, the guys from Stuckx have all, they must have said to themselves, we're not going to make money on this, but we need to make it because we just love it. And, and then they made it. And it has a very unique way, the strap just going straight through, which makes it very, very easy to change the strap. Whoopsie, you change the strap. There you go. Now have a look at the back here. We have the rather cool insignia there, or logo, if you will. The whole, and it has a very nice weight to it, and it has a very awesome look to it. So I must say, I'm a fan of this watch. And the other thing is, it came with a really, really well made and well tailored box. When this was being sold, it was being sold for about 660 euros. And it's quite a lot of money, but you're also getting quite a lot of watch. Now, I don't normally show watch cases here, but I watch boxes, but I think I will make an exception with this if my setup can catch it. There's an outer box. Let's see if I can move this for a minute. Oh dear, we have a problem with with my setup. I might have to go to hand holding mode, which is not something I like, but I might have to do it. It's a well made box here. And if you see here, it looks very nicely indeed, very nice indeed. The box is awesome. It really is. Trust me, guys. Anyway, I haven't got the setup to show you this, so I'm not going to show you anymore. We'll concentrate on the watch. So this is the Executor, and I you gotta like a watch named after Darth Vader's TIE fighter. Let's hear we can hear the bezel. Wow, can you hear that? That sounds really, really well made. Very precise. Very nice sound to it. Extremely, yeah. I don't normally have. I'm not really well set up to show loom shots. But it does have a very pleasing loom to it also, as you can see. I just held it up to the lamp for a minute. So I think when you're talking about this watch, I think it's a question of whether you love it or hate it, really. And I love it. I do. I just put the strap on again. I do. I like it a lot. I find it to be a very awesome watch, and I like it not in spite of, but because of its very particular look. Let's see if we can get it to go through. That would be very nice. There we are. Yeah, so I like it not in spite of, but because of its cool retro dive instrument look. And I'll give you a wrist shot if that's possible. Now I think this watch would look good on many other straps too. Obviously, there'd have to be special straps to go through it, but you could. I'm sure you could find them out there. It does come with another strap. Which I won't show here now. There we are. So there it is. That's the that's Darth Vader's TIE fighter right there in my arm. Now I think probably the guys, you guys and girls who dive and have dived a lot will probably recognise what I'm talking about. It does really look like an old school dive instrument, and that's pretty cool. And it has a very good automatic movement, good Swiss-made ETA. And I like the hands. I'm not quite sure what one calls these hands. I've heard them. I've heard the name of them before. I just don't remember it now. So yes, I was a bit not worried, because I've always thought that the watch looked cool on pictures, but I was a bit worried that it might be overwhelming when I got it. And but it isn't. It's just very pleasing, and I I really like it. The Executor from Stuckx. Guys, that's all I'm going to tell you about this watch. I don't think there's any point in me rambling on about how much I like the watch. It's just this is a cool watch, and I must say I'm a bit disappointed when I went online to check it out, and it said sold out and retired, because I might, I think I might like to own one of these. And and I don't know how many there were made, and I don't know how many were sold. But now the only way I can actually own one of these is finding on the used market, and I suppose that would be possible, because I could see myself, getting ready to dive in grease and slapping one of these on, and having people look at it and say, "Hey, excuse me, but what is that?" And that's my Stuckx Executioner. And that would be pretty cool. Anyway, thanks very much, guys, for watching. Once again, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe. I also have a Facebook group. I would love for you guys to join my Facebook group. It's called Peter's Watch Show and Tell Group, where you can contact me and give me, cons and pros of what I do. That's all from me. And once again, thanks very much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.